Alright. Next is this bronze DSI LL I'll be pulling apart. Part of my experimental de-yellowing test. Which most likely means I just have to junk the screens. A lot of them, I really didn't get much. I got interesting data out of them to sort of confirm what online rumors about de-yellowing was about, but it definitely is not a fix. Like, I mean, I would say these are mild yellow. I do an image retention test on them and take off the top screw covers as I go. I mean, I can tell by the reaction of the waveform that the microphone is good. But I'll do a light testing on all the components here in just a little bit. Oh, that one came off real nice and easy. Wish they were all like that. Ah, poop. Didn't mean to do that. Well, let's get these screw covers somewhere else. Okay, figure it's been enough time. So what I'm going to be looking for is if any of those assets in the DSI sounds menu were retained. I'm basically looking for that checkerboard pattern from the DSI sounds menu, and I don't see anything. So I think we're good here. Other than, of course, the screens being mildly yellowed, which is kind of a problem, but you know, details. Let me run through a testing protocol I have, just doing a broad scope test of all of the components. Let me start taking notes on this console, actually. Grab the shell serial. Bronze LL. It is WJF103745600. My 5 looks like another 6. 5, 6, not 6, 6. I need to see what version number it is. JPN 1.4J. Perfect. Alright, pop in my DS Pico. So first, I'll be testing tactile buttons. That's why I loaded up my DSPico to run a piece of homebrew software. Looks like everything's good. Everything's responding as I would expect. Do a refresh on my Pico and load up another piece of homebrew software to test the touchscreen specifically. Look for any dead zones, any sort of erratic inputs. Looks good. I don't need my Pico anymore. Next is speaker, microphone, and technically a headphone jack. I'm not going to test the headphone jack. Unless, like, I think it has to be, like, physically damaged for me to really worry about it ever being a problem. This console's in really good shape. It'd be really weird for that part to be damaged. La 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 la! Yep, microphone works. Volume buttons work. Reads an SD card just fine. It's seeing and playing that song I have there. Cameras. Yep, they look good. Charge port. My USB tester off to the side right there. Consoles responding system or like software wise, as well as solid orange light, 0.5 amp draw. And jiggling around the charge cable, I can't get that orange light to pop off, so solder joints and downstream components are good. So last but not least, is the game card slot. Now it did have that one non-read right at the beginning, but I'm just going to take that to assume that to just be a one-off, as I'm not going to be able to replicate it. I will perform a cleaning on the game card slot, which should eliminate that as being a potential cause. Again, we are dealing with a piece of, well, a DS Pico is definitely not retail hardware, so it having problems isn't necessarily an issue related to the console, as now there are far more factors involved than just a retail ROM. Okay. Every time the game card has disappeared is because I've ejected it. I'm trying my best to make that game card disappear. Oh, one moment. So I really have no reason to suspect this game card slot is bad. Sweet. So cleared all those tests just fine. Let's get this baby apart. I don't even think I really need rubbing alcohol for these feet, but I'll grab them anyway. Or I'll dribble some on them anyway. Doesn't hurt. I hope that's just like a stain, not like a mark. All right. Little pieces of tape that they use for the feet are aggressively sticky. Or they really like my fingers. Where was I? Up here, where there aren't any stickers. Take out the small screw in a little bit. Let go of my finger, please. There we go. Okay, this is a black fine thread screw. Special place for you right here. Ah, a full complement of gold screws. Those over there. Put those in the cleaning pile. That was a good shoulder button. Put that in the online store stock. Huh. This volume button's really kind of stuck down in there for some reason. There it goes. Offered up a lot more resistance than usual. All right. All right, I need to grab the serial number. Make sure those little latches are down. Oh, right. I was going to do a quick cleaning pass on the game card slot. Hopefully not launch this game card across the room like I just did a little bit ago. I should do it. Get this paperwork with the motherboard. And now we can get the rest of this pulled apart. Mild yellow. Power board looks good. Really, this console as a whole is in pretty good shape. And my little screw compartment is getting full again. I held on pretty tightly. How wooed. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but I need to do that anyway. Deroute the speakers, get these speaker grills out. Still have to take out the microphone. Very excited to receive my lot of 12 consoles I just recently bought for money. Actually, I got it for a real good deal. I think it was about $35 a console. Which, in this rising used console era, or my part consoles, DSi XL part consoles are just going up in price. So as I get them at 35 bucks a piece, it's pretty good. Don't know how much of it I can save, but they all have issues. These Japanese consoles that I got from one seller have been very good to me, but they're all working consoles with the exception of yellowed screens, which is great. I can get an immense amount of value out of them. Even though the screens themselves are incredibly valuable, and I basically have to throw them away. Well, not literally, but for the most part, they're junk until fixed. And my screen ability to fix screens is not crazy good at the moment, because it's mostly, I guess I could call it a budding technique that I've only attempted twice. Ooh, this one's wedged in there pretty good. I'll get some big boy pliers. But anyway, even just with all of the components, other than the screens being good and even the shells being in good shape, I can squeeze out hopefully enough value to justify the price I paid for these consoles, which I don't think was that much. I think it was probably about 30 or 40 bucks a piece. I mean, ideally I get a little over $20 per shell if I sell all the shell pieces individually. Ideally, of course. Some shell pieces are selling better than others. Alright, everything's coming apart very nicely. That sliced away. The ribbon cable rolled up. And pulled through the hinge. So suffice it to say, it's going to be really nice to get a lot of consoles that have problems. as that will be interesting to work through. Even if the problems are boring, it'll be a surprise. Get the shell clipped back together. I'll leave a note on it, mild yellow. Good camera unit. Put that in stock. I think that'll be good for right now.